Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 1. Now the fun begins. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create your own custom GPT in ChatGPT. And we're going to start by detailing the different components of the GPT builder, and then we'll go through 3 examples to make it real in the following lessons. The first step is you need to have the ChatGPT Plus plan to create your own custom GPTs. It's $20 a month, but I promise it'll be the best $20 you've ever spent. So to get the paid plan, simply go down here in the bottom left to your account, and you can go to My Plan. And this is where it'll show the current plan you have. So if you don't have the Plus plan, this is where you would go to subscribe and start paying for the Plus plan. Again, well worth it. You got to have it to really unlock all the cool features in ChatGPT. And now that you have the Plus plan, you can create your own GPTs. You've unlocked it. So to create your own GPT, you're going to want to go over on the left-hand side to the Explore tab. This is essentially your dashboard of all the GPTs you've created. And it'll also list ones that you've recently used down here. And then it shows some of the ones that OpenAI has made. These are great for inspiration. Would highly recommend looking through some of these. Like you see the DALL-E 3 one, which is really cool. Data analysis, an awesome one. Web browsing, the negotiator, creative writing coach, a lot of cool ones. These will start to give you some ideas of how GPTs work. Now let's get into the GPT builder. So if you scroll back up to the top, you'll see at the top here, create a GPT, customize a version of ChatGPT for a specific purpose. And here is the interface for creating your own custom GPT. This is your playground right here. And you're given 2 options to create a GPT. You're given one that's called create, and you're given one that's called configure mode. Create mode is really cool. It's like creating a custom GPT on training wheels. So if you're new to it, would highly recommend starting here. And you'll work in a similar fashion that you do when interacting with ChatGPT. It'll ask you questions, and then it will start to actually build the custom GPT for you on the back end based on the detail you provide. And in the next lessons, we'll actually go through this step by step. The other method is configure, which I prefer a lot of the times because you are given more flexibility to build your custom GPT to your exact specifications. And let's check out the different components of the configure tab here. And then again, in later lessons, we will go through this step by step. So don't worry, this is just kind of the overview of the different pieces. The first component is the plus sign. This allows you to either upload a logo or create one with DALL-E 3, which is a great image generator to create a logo. Next is the name field. So you're able to name your GPT and make sure you create a name that's descriptive, clear, short, and compelling. This is the first thing people are going to see. So make it a good one. Next is the description of your GPT. And again, this is something that simply lets people know what your custom GPT does. And this is also very important because it's a first impression of the value prop of your GPT. And we'll get into this later on how to best position your GPT so it will sell. The next several sections is where it starts to get really cool. This is essentially the brains of your GPT. And this is where we have the ability to make something that's truly unique that will sell. The first part of your brain is instructions. And this is where you define what your GPT does. You can define its persona here, how it behaves, the steps it should take in the GPT's process. And also you can list in here things it should avoid doing. So this is where you're really detailing how the GPT is going to operate, persona, all that kind of cool stuff. And again, we'll go through an example here in a bit in the next lesson. The next section is conversation starters. These are really cool. This defines how your GPT will initiate conversations to get the ball rolling. So really important piece here to the user experience of your GPT. You can create several of these to allow people different inroads into using your GPT. And it acts essentially as a context setter for your GPT, prompting users on how they can begin to interact with your GPT. The next section, and arguably one of the most important, is knowledge. This is where you can upload files to your custom GPT, adding to its knowledge base in the brain. Remember our Matrix Neo example? This is like plugging in the giant plug in the back of Neo's brain to upload all the interesting, unique, proprietary, whatever it is, data that you want to upload. So what file types can you upload? The first one's text files. This is great for straightforward textual type data. The next is PDF files, great for maintaining formatting of your doc. So GPT can actually, ChatGPT can read the formatting. The next is Word documents. So this is excellent for more structured data. But make sure your data is very readable and clean in a format that ChatGPT can read to maximize the effectiveness of the training. Next is HTML files, and you also can even upload PowerPoint presentations for context. Like, really cool stuff here. And then Excel spreadsheets, again, make sure the format is clear in there, clear headers and definitions of what the columns and rows all are, so the GPT knows what it's doing. You can also upload image files like JPEGs, PNGs, and GIFs. Again, a great context setter and reference point for your GPT. And you can also upload CSV files. And remember, the quality and relevance of the uploaded files significantly impacts the custom model's performance. So it's crucial to select and prepare your files carefully to make sure it represents the desired knowledge base accurately and comprehensively. The next section allows you to configure your GPT's capabilities. And right now, as of this recording, there's 3. The first one's web browsing. This allows your GPT to access the web for real-time data retrieval and current information sources. I typically always leave this one on. The next one is the DALL-E 3 image generator. It's a very cool, capable image generator that can generate images based on text prompts and based on how your GPT is structured. If your GPT has an output of an image generation at any point, make sure you have this one on. And the last one is Code Interpreter down here at the bottom. And this aids in coding tasks, providing programming assistance and automation. If your GPT does not require coding or data analysis in any form, I would leave this one off, as it can start to generate code unnecessarily, affecting the output of your GPT. But if your GPT ingests or outputs code, and there's a lot of cool GPTs you could build that do this, that are, helping with bug detection, fixing bugs, developing software, all kinds of things like that. Or if it's performing advanced data analysis, make sure you have this enabled. The last part of your GPT's brain is actions, and this is extremely powerful. I'll open it up here. So what actions essentially are is it allows you to leverage APIs to perform specific tasks or actions in response to a user's input. And this is where the true unlock is going to happen. So just like how APIs are super powerful, connecting different systems in an easy way, you can do that with your GPTs. Like, just think about that for a second, how powerful that is going to be. So a quick overview of what capabilities you can do here. It's interacting with external systems, so the model can interface with external APIs, databases, or services. For instance, it might retrieve data from a web service, or update a record in a database, or send a request to an API. Second, it can execute defined commands. So actions can include executing predefined commands or scripts. For example, it could run a script to process data, automate a routine task, or initiate a workflow. Third, it can do dynamic response generation. So in response to user queries, the model can perform actions like calculating results, generating customized content, or formatting responses in a specific way. And then user interface interactions. So if this is integrated with a graphical user interface or GUI, the model can trigger the UI actions like displaying alerts, updating visual elements, or navigating through a menu. And the last one, automation of tasks. The action features is often used to automate repetitive, complex tasks, making processes more efficient and user-friendly. So what are a couple examples of how you could use this? Like, a good one's customer support, automating responses to common queries or troubleshooting steps. Another one may be content management, so automating posting, editing, or retrieval of content in a CMS platform. The last thing to call out in this interface is the right-hand pane, and this is your preview tab. So think of this as like your testing playground. So as you're building, if you want to test out how the GPT is interacting, you can actually interface right here and message the GPT to see what the output is. So definitely use this as you're going and changing your inputs on the configuration or create side. Test it as you go. It'll help you configure and iterate more quickly. And that wraps up the nuts and bolts of how you create your own custom GPT. While it may seem overwhelming at first, you can start small. And in the next 3 lessons, we're going to get into 3 specific custom GPT examples so you can start to get your feet wet and go step by step through the process so you can start creating your own GPTs that sell. Your action item for this lesson is to go into ChatGPT's custom GPT section and just familiarize yourself with the interface so you're prepared to start creating your own GPTs in the next section. Like always, if you're finding value in this course, share it with your friends, your colleagues, your family, anyone really, or just leave a testimonial.